Jeremiah's gonna teach me how to cook food. What's going on, guys? John Kelly here, and as you can tell, I have the famous YouTube celebrity Jeremiah Stringer with me today, and we are going to have a debate about which stove is better.
Dude, you got a lot of you have a lot of stuff.
We're gonna talk about the differences between the alcohol stove versus the canister stove, and we both use them a lot.
Yeah, I've used both, definitely.
Yeah.
But I definitely have a preference.
And so do I, and mine is right. For me, back when I started backpacking, I was using canister stoves, and specifically I was using this one. This is the BRS 3000. Both of us are BRS users, and I would say that both of us really like the stove. Jeremiah, what are some of your favorite things about the BRS stove?
This little stove, I would say a couple things. It's really cheap. Like in it, I don't know.
It's like 17 bucks.
Yeah, 15 to 17, 20, somewhere in there on Amazon. Click the link below. Ooh, do you like that?
Yeah, he's hooking me up. He's earning me money.
Another thing is it's super light. It's under 1 ounce. It's like 25, 27 grams, something like that. Yeah. So super compact, but also there's some stuff I don't like about it too.
Okay, what are those things?
Well, for one, I have had my cook pot to slide off this, especially if it's not on super level ground. So a good little tip to do is fill however much water you're gonna use, fill that up in your cook pot, and then go ahead and have it set up, but sit it on there before you start cooking with it and see if the water looks level inside the cook pot.
Smart move.
Another thing is these arms can get really hot. It's never happened to me, but you could bend them. Other than that, I guess that's about it, like on my dislikes.
And you've used this on the long trail.
Mm-hmm. I used it for a month.
Yeah, as I say, every day, pretty much, right? And I use this on the Sheltoy trace.
It's really good at boiling water, but it's not super great if you want to cook some real food, not dehydrated food.
Yeah, and it's a very concentrated flame too.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it really just shoots straight up. So you're looking at a flame that's just really the bottom of your pot, you'll know where the flame was.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's where the discoloring will come from and everything. So it's a great little pot. Now, after I used this for a little while, I moved on to something else. This is the PocketRocket 2. Have you ever used one of these before?
I had the PocketRocket Deluxe. I'm just saying that's the one that I bought. I contemplated.
He's got more subs. He's more popular, and his stove is better. Of the two, this one performs a whole lot better. It just performs better because the flame spreads out a little bit more, a little more even, and it's got a wider base too, so you're able to put a bigger pot on it. I've used this actually to cook a steak, believe it or not.
The good thing is you can turn the flame up or down.
Right.
And the Deluxe has the striker and a little bit of a wider mouth for the flame.
Because he's got better stuff than I do.
No, I had to pay more for it, and I had to carry it and it's more weight.
Oh, I am a big fan of this stove though. It's a great stove. It really, they're not that heavy. It's just that when you compare the weight between the two, sure. This one definitely has more weight than this. And if you're a gram weenie, which Jeremiah definitely is, you gotta make sure that you cut that weight down. So, but I do like this, and it's by MSR, which is a company that I trust like crazy. So it's a great stove. I like canister stoves. They're great, but honestly, I wanted to try something a little different. I wanted to use something that I like to try different gear. Do you like to try different gear?
100%. This is one thing I'd leave at home though. This plastic box, do you take that? No. Me either, because I'm a gram weenie. I've tried some homemade alcohol stoves too. And I see that's what you got here.
Yeah, so I wanted to try alcohol stoves. I really wanted to try alcohol stoves because alcohol stoves seem like a really interesting option. For one, you can cut down a lot of weight using an alcohol stove. You can also add weight by using an alcohol stove, so you better just like it if you're gonna do that. But I wanted to see if there was something I could use that could cut some weight. Carrying this metal thing full of fuel felt like silly sometimes because I'm not gonna use all of this in a weekend, but I have to carry the whole thing. And so I wanted to find something where I wouldn't have to carry all of this, but still have fuel to cook my food.
Yeah, that's like over even the smallest canisters you can buy, which is like 100 gram is what I found. This is probably 110. Yeah. So that's the worst part. And then you have to float them to see how much fuel is still in there.
Well, and that's just the net weight.
Oh yeah, just the can by
itself. The gross weight's 7.4 ounces when it's full.
Right.
So you're looking at almost a half a pound.
Yeah.
Right here. So being able to take just enough fuel to cook the food that you're gonna have on a trip is really nice if you're trying to cut down weight.
Sure.
So I decided to try out some alcohol stoves, and I bought some different ones off of Amazon, like most people do. I got this one from No2. I think that's how you pronounce this. Just a real simple little one. Never used it. Then I got one from Red Camp, and this is one of those ones that has the top that you can actually kind of open up, and you can vent it if you want to, and all kinds of stuff. This is like, to me, this is just like way overkill. Very similar style, I think, to this one, but I never used it either.
This one definitely was used. I can see it.
Yeah, okay, so this one, and I've talked about this on the channel before. This is the Spaguyver 2.0. If you've ever watched the Spaguyver YouTube channel, great video, especially if you want to learn about alcohol stoves or hammocks, and you want to see a dude who's like really buff, like
he's shredded, man.
Super buff. That's Mark Orton, Spaguyver himself. I started using this. He sent this to me. I saw him do a video on this, and I asked him if I could buy one of those from him. He said, "No, I'll just send you one." So he sent me the stove. I've used it on all but one backpacking trip since I got it. And honestly, this turned me into a believer.
It looks like he took a Michelob Ultra like can or something, and then just took sneers and like snips and pinched it.
Yeah, I don't think he would sneer at it.
No.
The bloom on this thing is awesome. I think I could put a frying pan on this and it would cook it because of the way the bloom is on it. Alcohol stoves don't cook as fast as the canister stoves, but they do a great job.
Well, my number one issue normally is like, what if this thing gets kicked over? I've seen it multiple times on the trail. I saw it really recently, and one time I was hiking in the Grayson Highlands, and I saw one like get spilled. And however much alcohol is in there is how much alcohol is going to burn up on that table.
Yeah.
And if that catches something, you know, you could singe your puffy. So I guess you could do the same thing with the canisters, though. But I would definitely rather cook under my vestibule.
Your what?
My vestibule.
Your vestibule?
Vestibule is what he says, because he's a linguistic racist. I would definitely rather cook under it with one of these than, because I can control it.
Right,
This is going to keep burning until it burns out. However much alcohol, normally, you know, a catful or whatever it is to boil something, until the alcohol is gone, it's going to just keep burning. The canister stove, just turn it off.
Yeah, and that is a benefit of the canister stove versus the alcohol stove. I think it just depends on what you're looking for. Like, what is it that's important to you when you're out backpacking? I know for me, I have comfort items I want to take with me when I go backpacking, and they weigh something.
Yep, every time.
They're heavy, and because they're heavy, I'm trying to cut weight in other areas. And so I can take something like this, that's a thing of denatured alcohol, and pour in what I need for each meal, and I'm good to go. And I've learned, at least for me, about 3/4 to 1 ounce of alcohol will be what I need for each meal. So if I'm gonna have breakfast, or I'm gonna have lunch or dinner, whatever it is, usually I'm looking at about 1 ounce of alcohol. So if I'm out for a weekend where, let's say I'm gonna do 2 breakfasts and 2 dinners, I just need 4 ounces of alcohol. And that, in this little plastic container, weighs a whole lot less than this with a bunch of gas in it.
Yeah, and one other thing that you don't think about, like you're using, I assume you bought this at like
Walmart,
and it is like paint thinner or something like that. These little alcohol stoves can burn more than just denatured alcohol. Like, I've heard of thru hikers that they're having to cold soak their meals because they're literally out of fuel. And normally you can buy some more paint thinner, but if it's not available, you can go with like rubbing alcohol or any hard liquors like vodka. If somebody had some and you needed to cook, you could pour it in there and cook with it.
That's a good way to tick off everybody else in your campsite.
Yeah. But another one, I read this in Jeff Garmier's book, Free Outside. He said that on the AT, he was freezing to death and there was a bathroom or something that had hand sanitizer, and he was completely out of fuel. So he put hand sanitizer in here and cooked in his alcohol stove to cook, like, you know, boil some water for hot chocolate and a meal.
That's awesome. If you've got one of these and you're out in the woods and it runs out of fuel, you're not going to hook up hand sanitizer to it. You're not going to be able to put rubbing alcohol in it or vodka or whatever else you have.
Sure.
It's just not going to help you in this. And so that's where there is a little bit of freedom, I guess, with this. There is the danger, of course, of knocking it over and all that, but
Sure.
that just means don't be stupid.
Just be careful.
Don't be stupid. Like, if you see a flame coming out of an alcohol stove, don't kick it.
Well, sometimes though you'll knock it with your elbow or something on a picnic table. But another thing about
wait. So, do you like randomly just elbow things that are on fire?
People, so if I see an alcohol stove, hey bro, canister all the way.
So with all that said, now you know how these things work and all that, but the big question is, Jeremiah, which one do you prefer over the other? And why are you wrong?
Well, first, I'm not wrong. I love the PocketRocket Deluxe. This is the PocketRocket single. I would take this all day over the alcohol stove because I don't care how heavy something is. If it's going to make my life easier, then I'm 100% going to take it. So I'm canister. I tried the alcohol stove. Could not cook eggs over it. Couldn't.
I watched that.
It was embarrassing.
Not too many people are cooking eggs on the trail.
Well, that's true, but you never know when
Just saying. I am definitely a fan of the stove, the alcohol stove. For me, it's just better. Another thing I didn't talk about, but one of the great things about having alcohol is, let's say something happens and you get a massive cut in your leg. You got an antiseptic right here. And you can clean that out, which is also kind of nice. And again, just to have some weight saving somewhere when I'm carrying a lot of like comfort gear. I like to have that weight savings. I like to have the ability to save a few ounces here and there. And if I can do that through this, that's great. I'm patient when it comes to cooking my food because I'm usually at camp, and when I'm at camp, I'm in my happy place. So I don't really care about going fast. And honestly, another thing about it is really it's just up to you. What's important to you? Is it saving weight or is it ease of use? Because I'll be honest, way easier. Way easier. These are just easier to use. You need to know a little bit more about what you need to do to use one of these, but it just depends on what it is that you want out of a backpacking trip. I don't care if you're an ultralighter, a lightweighter, or a heavyweighter. You can do whatever you want on the trail if that makes you happy and comfortable in the woods. But for me, it's this. And for Jeremiah, it's this.
And for them, it may be an Esbit cube. Who knows? What?
If you use an Esbit cube to cook with on the trail, leave a comment about that below.
Dude, that's a thing. Show him that that's a thing.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're a liar because you're not a liar. You're a very honest human being. So if that's you, comment below. If you enjoyed the video and you want to give it the thumbs up, give it the thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell that's right down here. And you can't see my hand because it's off the camera. So it's right down here. So until next time, stay strong, hike long, and we'll catch you on the next go round.